Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. Welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper Lives channel for this channel's very first live stream. Finally got my 50 subscribers on this channel so I can live stream. Pretty cool, huh? I like doing live streams more than I like doing videos. It's because I guess I can think on my feet and talk on, videos. I just don't like doing them. I'd rather do live streams. So I'm glad I finally got to this point in this channel where I can do live streams. But tonight we're going to do the live stream on keeping yourself safe during this 4th of July. Whether you be going to a fireworks display or at your, neighborhood family picnic or you're going shopping, whatever the case may be, keeping yourself safe. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. It seems like we really got to be alert all the time now. And this just gives these people another reason to act crazy. And don't forget, they're having that No Kings protest tomorrow, too. So I don't see that getting out of hand. I don't even see that being very big, to be honest with you. They had to try to pay a lot of people to be there last time, and they didn't show up. So I think it'll be smaller last time, be less significant because, that's what Independence Day is, right? No King's Day. We told the king that we didn't want no king no more. So anyway, but yeah, you need to stay safe. And that's what we're going to talk about. But anyway, appreciate the subscribers I got on this channel. It helped this channel grow. And I got my other channel out there, Hidden Truths 1967. And that channel's a little bigger, and I've been spending more time on it. But since I can live stream here now, I'm going to see what channel will grow the fastest, and that channel will start getting more of the attention. So, and I know these live streams, it takes a while for the word to get out and the algorithm to, I don't want to say accept them, but, make sure they're okay to go through. The algorithm is a pretty big babysitter. So anyway, Jacob YouTube, yo, how's it going? Yeah, we're going to talk about today staying safe on the 4th of July. Okay, let's get into it. I got some people showing up. Now, if you live in a big city, and what am I afraid of on the 4th of July, first of all? Well, I'm afraid of somebody trying to create a problem during a crowd, whether it be driving their vehicle into the crowd, whether it be shooting the crowd up, whatever the case may be. At a major fireworks display, that stuff could happen. Or we could have another situation like we had in Idaho. I still don't believe that whole story in the Idaho thing. They say there wasn't another shooter. How do we know? How do we know the cop shot this guy and he wasn't shot by his partner that got him into it? Anyway, that's just a big conspiracy theory. But anyway, something like that could happen. Or, these Iranian sleeper cells that we're going to eventually have to deal with, they could be let loose. Or we could have anti-American groups that are Americans that want to create hate and discontent in this country. Anybody who wants to cause America to, maybe fear a little bit, which we don't fear. Tomorrow's my birthday. Well, I went to the gym. I like the name. Tomorrow's my birthday. Well, that's good. One thing people don't realize, if you want to lower your prescription drug costs, go to the gym. Pay a membership to the gym and get in shape. You'll be surprised how much you don't have to spend on medical. It'll more than lower your medical costs by 75%. Just try it. And I'm sure I went to the gym would agree with me. I like the name. You play basketball, workout, you just lift weights or whatever. But anyway, I'm afraid of something happening tomorrow. We live in a crazy world. What I experienced in the Marine Corps is now in America. But don't worry, I'm not supposed to get excited, right? But now American citizens have to fear to celebrate our country's birthday. I don't ever remember really having to do that in the past, except for the last few years. Maybe after 9/11, a couple of years and stuff, there was a fear of that. But anyway, and then they want to take away our gun rights. All Americans should be able to carry guns at this stuff. Okay, we need to keep ourselves safe. And the best way to keep ourselves safe is for these people to know that these gatherings and stuff are not a soft target. I remember hearing a story, this was years ago, where this idiot terrorist tried to shoot up in Texas some Second Amendment rally. Well, let's just say there was only one victim there, and that was him. I mean, this is how smart these people are. You're going to sit there and go to a Second Amendment gun rally in Texas and expect that you're going to have victims? You know, everybody there realizes they're not a victim. Just crazy time. Or like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. You know what I find so funny about that? First thing, my problem with Kyle Rittenhouse, he should have took a knee right away, got into the firing position, and started shooting right away and backed them off so they never came after him. But this is one thing. Okay, he was running away. He's got the gun, and he's running away, right? These guys are so stupid, they're running after him, trying to get him in a position where he's got to use the gun on them. Anyway, and that was 5 years ago we were dealing with this garbage. Protect yourself, okay? One thing I want to say, if you're in a crowd, okay, you got two things to worry about. You always got to have that third eye. That's sixth sense of where you could feel something's wrong. But you go to the center of the crowd, then you got to worry about somebody shooting that up. You go to the edge of the crowd, you got to worry about somebody running a vehicle into the damn thing. No place is safe no more. I mean, our politicians have created an environment where America is no longer as safe on our own territory. Those days are over with. You know, all these protests that were going down about ICE and stuff, and a lot of these people that were assaulting ICE officers or throwing bricks at cars and stuff, why weren't they arresting them? Jeepers Cripes, I know if I threw a brick at a cop car or even, you know, treated the cop with the least disrespect, I'm going to get, you know, the slam down job. But these illegal citizens, I'm so sick and tired. You know, I'm not a big fan of cops, but I don't believe they should be abused, especially by people that aren't citizens of this country. You know, they're allowed to go about this craziness without there being any implications to what they're doing. And, you know, like a spoiled little child, until they get brought back into sanity and know what the boundaries are, they're going to keep going further and further. Just keep pushing it. And then we got the 4th of July. Boy, it'd be nice if it could be like it when I was a kid. This is my only vice when SHTF hits, Mountain Dew. I can provide everything else I need except for Mountain Dew. That ought to be an experience, huh? But anyway, if you can conceal carry, conceal carry. And remember, you got to protect your fellow citizens then too. That doesn't mean you need to be like that character off Police Academy. Remember, what was this, Hightower? Not Hightower, but all that gun crazy guy. You don't got to be like that, obviously, because then you're just a danger to the public. But anyway, and probably a little body armor, because obviously if you're going to feel you may have to engage a shooter, you want a little protection. Not body armor where they can tell you're wearing it, but this is civilians, okay? This is one thing you know when the cops are overrun and can't get their job done right, when civilians got to help out. But we live in an environment now where everybody's got to watch out for everybody else. living in these small towns like in Nebraska, we all stick together. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is, because if you don't, if you're not from this area and you don't want to assimilate, you're just going to cause problems for everybody. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. The Democrats, most of the Democrats are the old Democrats anyway. The JFK Democrats, the ones that would be considered conservatives these days. But anyway, yeah, if you're in a big city, stay away from crowds. If you can find a vantage point, one thing when I go to watch fireworks, I have places where I go where I can sit on top of hills where I'm away from the crowd. It could be a mile or so, but you can sit there and see the fireworks. And that's where I watch them. And usually I'm not alone. There's other people there that have that same type of idea. But you don't have to deal with the traffic, and it's safer. And I just don't like dealing with people that much anyway. Heck, I'm the lone wolf prepper, right? But that's safer. Remember, I had layers of security, okay? Distance is your best layer of security you can have. Distance from an incident, distance from people, distance from bad news or harm. But if you're going to get into a crowd, you better make sure that everybody that you're with knows, to keep aware. People say that when I walk out into a crowd or start mingling with people, all of a sudden I stand up straighter, my shoulders go out and stuff. I stand prouder because I'm always on alert. The sergeant in the Marine Corps comes out then. That's like dealing with people does to me. Oh, it sucks. Anyway, I know I got a phobia of people, but I've seen about the worst that people can do, and I just, I know it can happen here. Like I say, when SHTF hits, the biggest threat that anybody's going to have is people. Even if you're a mag, you just better have everybody vetted. I mean, could you imagine being in a mag with your family? And I'm not saying your kids, okay? Because your kids always that's mom and dad, and they always, do whatever. But with your sisters or whatever, as adults, I don't think so. But anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, this is my first live stream on this channel, and they will grow. Everything starts out slow. My other channel started out slow, and then, like I say, I'm on the interstate, on the shoulder doing 5 miles an hour, put, 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 put. And then for about a week on my other channel, they stuck me in hyperdrive and, hi, slow me down. I found out what it was like to be a channel that actually gets subscribers and views real fast, but that all ended real quick. So anyway, everything's controlled by the algorithm. I can't wait till the time comes when we get to pull that plug. I mean, you even got the news agencies, CNN and CBS and ABC, NBC, complaining that their views on the web are down 40%. Yeah, because of Google's AI. Yeah, because the AI is even censoring you. Welcome to our world. So that, like you say, that tells me that even they're saying stuff that the AI don't want us to hear, or the people in charge of the AI don't want us to hear. But anyway, everybody have a great 4th of July. I'll probably do a video tomorrow, read Declaration of Independence, and read my Statement of Independence. So anyway, everybody enjoy this country's birthday. Remember, we are the greatest nation on earth. But it's going to take, it takes work to stay that way. Just like relationships take work. Well, keeping a country great takes work. And that's one thing Americans have forgotten. Anyway, this is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. I am out of here.